This is a video to introduce algebra. We use algebra as a tool to make sense of everyday situations, to turn everyday situations into mathematical sentences. So if we say that we have $60 and we buy a pair of pants and a shirt, the pair of jeans cost $27, you come home with $15, how much did the shirt cost? Well, there's a couple different ways of figuring this out, but one way would be to using symbols and algebra. So we start off with $60, and that's equal to the $27 for the jeans. So we can just put a J in there, or we could write $27, plus we also bought a shirt, and we also had some change left over. So I can write in the numbers, or I can use a letter, a variable, to stand for those numbers. Now let's go ahead and replace those variables with numbers that come from our story. So we have $60 is equal to the cost of the jeans, so the J is really $27, plus the cost of the shirt, which we don't know, plus the change that we have left over, which is 15. So this is one way of taking a real-life situation and writing it out mathematically. Now, if we wanted to find out how much that shirt really costs, we would say that $60 is equal to the cost of the jeans and the change that's left over, so that's going to be $42, plus the shirt. Well, we need to figure out 42 plus what makes 60. Well, that would be $18. So the cost of the shirt is $18. Now you're going to be writing these algebraic expressions, and we need to learn some vocabulary that go along with algebraic expressions. Anytime you see a letter that's going to stand for a number, that is called a variable. And the variable in this algebraic expression is p. Another one that we need to know is a coefficient. A coefficient is the number that goes in front of a variable. So in this case, the coefficient is 5, and because we don't see the operation between the 5 and the p, it is going to mean 5 times p. Coefficients are going to be multiplied times their variable. We have a special name for numbers that are all by themselves, like this 4. Those are called constants. It's a constant because it never changes. That 4 is going to stay a 4 no matter what. Finally, we have the term called term, or terms. Terms are the parts of an algebraic expression. So if we look at this algebraic expression has two parts. It has 5p, and it also has a 4. The plus sign separates the two parts. Those are the terms of the algebraic expressions. Alright, so here's one for us to try out. It says identify the terms, coefficients, constants, and variables. Well, the easiest part is the variables. That's going to be the x. Variables are the letters that stand for numbers. The constant is the numbers that are all by themselves and won't change. So the constant is 13. Coefficients are the numbers in front of a variable. So in this case, the coefficient is 5. Finally, our terms are the parts of the algebraic expression. The terms are 5x and 13. Here's another one. Identify the terms, coefficients, constants, and variables. Let's start with the easy one, the variables. Right off the bat are the easiest ones to find. The variables are the letters that stand for numbers. So we have z and y. Those are the variables. We can put any number in those. That's why they are called variables. Constants are the numbers that are by themselves and can't change. In this case, that's a 3. The 3 is by itself. It can't change. The coefficient of a variable is the number in front of a variable. So we only have one of them, which is obvious. That's a 2. And actually, we have one right here. It's invisible. It's 1y. So the coefficient for the y is 1. Finally, what are the terms? The terms are the parts of the algebraic expression. So here is one term, here is the second term, here is the third term. Alright, this one says evaluating algebraic expressions. Evaluate means to find the answer. So we want to evaluate k plus 10 when k is 25. Some people get scared by this, but this one's actually pretty easy. They're telling us that k is 25. So we rewrite the expression k plus 10, and we change that k to a 25. So we find out that the answer is 35. Here's another one. Evaluate means find the answer of 4 times n when n is 12. So they're telling us that n is 12. So you have 4 times n. The n changes to a 12, and 4 times 12 is 48. Last one. Evaluate means find the answer of a divided by b when a is 16 and b is 2/3. We got a divided by b. Well, what does the a equal? We'll change this a to a 16 divided by b, which is 2/3. We replace the letters with their values. 16 and 2/3, that's 16 over 1. I gotta use KFC. Keep, flip, change. Keep the first number the same, flip the second fraction, and change dividing to multiplying. That's going to be 48 over 2, and when you simplify that, 48 over 2 is 24.